Besides being one of the most beloved names in pro wrestling, Eddie Guerrero knew how to enjoy his life while he was with us. In today's video, you'll learn about Eddie Guerrero's life. Born in October 1967 in El Paso, Texas, Eduardo "Gory" Guerrero Lainez, better known as Eddie Guerrero, was a professional wrestler. He entered the world of wrestling at a very young age, coming from one of the sport's most traditional families. After working for federations in Mexico and Japan in the early 1990s, he made his American debut, gaining prominence in ECW and later WCW, where he won the Crossweight title and the United States Championship in 1996. He also performed in major arenas around the world, joining iconic groups such as the Elwa and the Filthy Animals, before transferring to the then WWF in January 2000. His debut was immediate as part of the group The Radicals, and he quickly became a key player for the company, winning the European and Intercontinental Championships, with performances that earned him the nickname Latino Heat. In February 2004, Guerrero reached the absolute pinnacle by defeating Brock Lesnar at the No Way Out event, winning his only WWE title in an epic victory that thrilled fans worldwide. Months later, he successfully defended his belt at WrestleMania 20 against Kurt Angle, becoming one of the most beloved champions in the company's history. At the end of his career, Eddie accumulated several tag team titles alongside his nephew Chavo Guerrero, forming Los Guerreros, and was posthumously inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2006, after a career marked by overcoming challenges and unparalleled charisma. In his crowning season, he cemented his status as a cultural icon, using his motto of cheating to win and breaking barriers as one of the first wrestlers of Mexican origin to hold the main title of the world's largest wrestling organization. A member of the Sports Legends team, Guerrero also stood out in historic rivalries against names like Rey Mysterio and JBL, being a key player in moments that defined the modern era of sports entertainment. Even though he passed away prematurely, Eddie Guerrero represents the heart and soul of wrestling, with refined technique, a magnetic personality, and a winning mentality, building a career that places him as one of the greatest legends of the sport of all time. So let's learn more about his life? Before we do, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Eddie Guerrero, the eternal legend of Latino Heat, built a significant real estate portfolio throughout his victorious wrestling career, demonstrating that his grit in the ring translated into security for his family outside of it. His primary residence for many years was a house valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars in Phoenix, Arizona, known as the Refuge, where Eddie sought peace between the exhausting WWE tours. The house was the center of family life alongside his wife Vicky and daughters, offering the privacy a star of his magnitude needed to recharge his batteries. In addition to this permanent residence, Eddie took a significant step by always maintaining his connection to El Paso, Texas, the city where it all began. He invested in properties in the border region, which represented not only a financial asset but also the achievement of a personal milestone for the son of Gory Guerrero, who went from local gyms to the spotlight on the biggest stages in the world, such as WrestleMania. Thinking about his legacy and the well-being of his family, Eddie always prioritized staying close to the Guerrero clan, ensuring that his achievements served as a foundation to support the family's roots in both Texas and Mexico, showing that global success never distanced him from his humble origins. Before shining as a WWE champion, Eddie lived a very different reality, growing up in a house where the backyard served as a training center, with a ring improvised by his father. This trajectory proves the distance he traveled with discipline and talent, transforming the sweat of his training into a solid asset. An example to be followed, isn't it? Eddie Guerrero's automotive collection demonstrated his taste for vehicles with soul and cultural personality, without giving up the ostentation that his character demanded in the ring. His most emblematic highlight was the Chevrolet Impala lowriders, valued at tens of thousands of dollars after customizations, vehicles modified to jump and parade with hydraulic suspension, offering the perfect combination of Chicano style and authority. Before achieving global star status in WWE, Eddie used more modest vehicles to travel the long roads between wrestling arenas in Mexico and Texas in the early 90s. With his rise and arrival at WCW and later WWE, he transformed his passion for cars into part of his identity, adding classic General Motors models from the 60s to his garage, aligning himself with the tradition of El Paso's automotive culture. Backstage sources and records from his career indicate that Guerrero owned a rotating fleet of classic cars, often loaned or prepared by specialized customizers, with average prices varying according to the rarity of the parts and the hydraulic system installed. These vehicles were frequently used in his triumphant entrances in arenas around the world, becoming an extension of his charisma. His garage collection reflected an evolution aligned with his professional growth, going from anonymity to the top of sports entertainment with choices that represented his pride and merit. Even with such flashy and iconic options, Eddie maintained respect for his work tools, using cars not only as ostentation, but as symbols of overcoming challenges and connecting with his fans, always valuing the authenticity that made him one of the most beloved wrestlers of his generation. Eddie Guerrero built a solid financial base over decades, establishing himself as one of the most iconic and respected names in the history of professional wrestling. At his peak in WWE, between 2004 and 2005, he received approximately $7,150 per week, the equivalent of $372,000 per year, acting as the main champion and face of the SmackDown brand. His contract with the company guaranteed not only a high base salary for the time, but also significant bonuses for appearances at pay-per-view events. Throughout his career, Eddie saw his earnings evolve as he climbed the rankings of major organizations. During his time in WCW in the second half of the 1990s, his annual earnings ranged from $150,000 to $20,000. After his transfer to the WWF in 2000 and his subsequent triumphant return in 2002, his earnings jumped into the six-figure range, consolidating his financial stability while becoming one of the most popular wrestlers in the world with the Latino Heat character. In addition to his in-ring salaries, Guerrero accumulated significant revenue from the sale of merchandise and image rights, mainly from WWE licensed products such as t-shirts with the slogan Viva la Raza and appearances in various video games of the franchise, estimated at tens of thousands of additional dollars per year. At the time of his untimely death, his accumulated fortune was estimated at around $6 million, the result of years of tireless work, performance bonuses, and a management focused on the well-being of his wife and 3 daughters. Eddie maintained a cautious approach to the future, investing in his family home in Arizona and ensuring that his in-ring achievements translated into security for his loved ones. With his posthumous induction into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2006 and the continued sale of his official merchandise to this day, Guerrero's financial legacy continued to provide for his family, solidifying him as one of the most successful and stable athletes of his generation in sports entertainment. Hey, you like the video? So don't forget about leave your like and comment, and tell some suggestions of another videos, and hopefully we gonna do it. All about channel Dios to satisfy your curiosity. Hey, you like the video? So don't forget about leave your like and comment, and tell some suggestions of another videos, and hopefully we gonna do it. All about channel Dios to satisfy your curiosity.